All right, so question number 9 here. The heights of adult men in America are normally distributed with a mean of 69.7 inches and a standard deviation of 2.68. The heights of adult women in America are also normally distributed, mean 64.4, standard deviation 2.52. If a man is 6'3" tall, that's pretty tall, what is his Z-score? And if a woman is 5'11", that's pretty tall for a woman, what is her Z-score? And the question is, who is relatively taller? Meaning, is this man taller than other men more than this woman is taller than other women? Who's taller compared to their gender? Is a 6'3" man, 6'3" tall man, is he more standout height compared to other men? Or is a woman that's 5'11" taller compared to other women? So the whole purpose of Z-score, what we're about to calculate, Z-score, is to be able to compare people that are in different groups. So we did some problems in the homework that also like compared like racers, like kids that ran a mile and how fast they could run a mile when they're young in elementary school or intermediate school or high school, and how we know who's faster compared to their peers. This is how they determine if somebody's like a phenom early on when they're young, compared to their peers, even though they can't run as fast as an adult yet, maybe they're already a standout. So anyway, let's figure that out. So let's go to the notes. I want to show you where this is, if I can find it in the notes. Let me see here, homework statistics. So this is probably the exam 1 notes, I think. So I'm going to go to the exam 1 notes. GPA. Let's see. And prime percentile, P40, box plot, population, voluntary response. Oh, is that all I did for exam 1 notes? It doesn't seem all that helpful. But where's the Z-score calculation there? I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. It's right at the bottom. So there's the exam 1 notes. So exam 1 notes. So here we go. See Z-score right there? It's number 15. So let's, so we're right at the end of the exam 1 information. Let me pop that in here for us. Okay, so exam 1 notes tell us to do Z-score, we do score minus mean divided by standard deviation. It compares data values in different data sets. Score minus mean over standard deviation. So there we go. So it's going to be score minus mean over standard deviation. So the Z-score will be score minus mean over standard deviation. So it'll be score. What is the score? For a man that's 6'3". Now, the mean is 69.7 inches for men. So we got to take 6'3" and change that into pure inches, don't we? So that's going to be 6 feet times 12 plus 3, right? So it's going to be 72 plus 3. It's going to be 75 inches. You good with that? I just took the 6 foot times 12 inches in every foot, added the 3 inch. He's 6'3", so 6 times 12 plus 3, 72 plus 3. He's 75 inches tall. So that's his score. That's his height score, 75 inches minus the mean, the average for men, 69.7, divided by the standard deviation for men, 2.68. So that's what we have to figure out. Now, remember on your calculator, when you type this in, don't forget to hit enter when you finish the top before you hit divide. That's the main mistake people make. Are you tracking with me on that? It's really, really important. You have to type 75 minus 69.7, then hit enter, then divide by 2.68, and then hit your last enter. So watch out for that. You've got to hit enter before you hit divide. Otherwise, it'll only divide the last number. And you don't want to divide the last number. You want to do the whole subtraction first and then divide, right? And you tell the calculator to do that by hitting enter. Whenever you hit enter, the calculator does what's on the screen. So you type in the subtraction and hit enter. You say, calculator, do that subtraction. And then you hit divide after, and it'll divide the whole subtraction instead of just the last number. So I did that. I'm getting for mine 1.4 decimal places, 9776. Okay, now let's do the woman. Same thing. Her z-score is going to be her score minus the mean over the standard deviation. Now, what's her score? Well, she's 5'11". So that's 5 times 12, which is 60. And then 60 add 11. She's 71 inches tall, isn't she? So she's 71. Bring that over here. That's her score. 71 inches tall minus the mean for women. The mean for women is 64.4. Over the standard deviation for women, 2.52. All right, let's calculate it. And remember to hit enter on the top before you hit divide. Enter, then divide. So 71 minus 64.4 equals divide by 2.52. I'm getting 2.6190. 2.6190. That's her z-score. Now, here's the $1 million question. Who is relatively taller? Who is taller compared to their group?
Woman.
Yeah, the woman, because the 2.69 is a bigger z-score. Does that make sense? Even though the man is clearly taller than the woman, he's 6'3", but men in general are taller. So in other words, we're asking, who's a bigger standout? It's the woman. That's what a z-score does. Do you understand what a z-score is actually doing? It is telling you how much you are above or below, if you're negative, you're below, the rest of the people in your group. 2.619, that means she is 2.6190 standard deviations above, not about, but above average, because it's positive. That's what it means, the number of standard deviations. Remember what standard deviation means? The typical amount that you're above or below the middle. She is 2.619 standard deviations, typical amounts above the middle. So she's more than 2.6, more than 2.5, more than 2.5 standard amounts above the average. She's way above average, right? There's average, and then there's above average. She's more than 2.5 full jumps. Standard deviation is average distance from the middle, if you remember. That's what we've been using that all semester. Standard deviation is average distance from the middle. She's 2.5 full, 2.6, more than 2.5 full standard jumps above the middle. She's way above average. Standard deviation is the average amount people are off the middle. She's 2.6 full jumps above the middle. Whereas the man, he's taller than average also, but he's only 1.9. He's not even quite 2 jumps above the middle. So he's above the average, yeah, but not crazily above. He's not 2 full jumps above average compared to other men, whereas she's more than 2.5 full jumps above average. She's more of a standout compared to other women than he is, height-wise, compared to other men.